Hello everyone, my name is Nilakshi Mate. Today we see about the basic concept and definitions of thermodynamic. Under this title, we will see the information about the thermodynamics and its importance, macroscopic and microscopic viewpoint, concept of continuum, thermodynamic system, surrounding and boundary, control volume approach and system approach, type of equilibriums, thermal equilibrium, chemical equilibrium, mechanical equilibrium, and thermodynamic equilibrium. Information about the pure substances, properties, intensive property and extensive properties, state, path, processes and cycles, point function and path function, quasi-static process, and processes like isobaric, isochoric, isothermal, and polytropic processes. Information about the temperature and different scales. We also get the information about the zeroth law of thermodynamics, energy, sources of energy, forms of energy, energy transfer by work and forms of work, free expansion, energy transfer by heat, adiabatic processes, equation of state, ideal gas equation, specific gas constant, and universal gas constant. Now we can start with the definition of the thermodynamics. So thermodynamics is a basically branch of science that deals with the energy in all its forms and the laws governing the transformation of energy from one form of energy to the another form. Since there are many forms of energy such as mechanical, thermal or heat, chemical, electrical, etc. This science covers a very broad field of applications and is a base to many branches of natural science and engineering and technology. That part of the subject which applies to the engineering. So, in the general manner, this is referred as a engineering thermodynamics or the applied thermodynamics. Now we know about the thermodynamic deals with the behavior of the gases and the vapors, means we get the information about the working substances in the thermodynamic system when this subjected to the various temperatures and the pressures, and the relationship between the heat energy and the mechanical energy commonly referred to as a work. When the gases and the vapors are subjected to the variations of the temperature and the pressures, the relationship between the heat energy and the mechanical energy commonly referred to as a work. Do you get that my point? When a substance undergoes a change from one condition to the another in a process, energy transformation may occur. In common processes are those of heating or cooling and expansion or compression in a cylinder or passages with or without production or supply of mechanical work. The chemical reaction or change of phase may occur in some processes involving liberation of the heat. So, in the simple language, thermodynamics can be defined as the study of energy, energy transformation, and its relation to the matters. Now we see about the importance of the thermodynamics. In the present days of industrialization, demand for energy is increasing rapidly. It is therefore necessary to design and operate thermal plant and machines at their highest level of performance for the efficient utilization of fuels and natural resources available. In thermodynamic process or change involves the use of working substance or thermodynamic medium which has the ability to receive, store and give out or reject energy as required by the particular processes. The medium may be in any one of the four physical state or phases, namely main, solid, liquid, vapor and gas. The vapors and gaseous substances are sometimes termed together as a gases. Now we can see the thermodynamic systems and the type of systems. A thermodynamic system is a specific portion of matter with definite boundary on which our attention is focused. The system boundary may be real or imaginary, fixed or deformable also. Everything outside the system which has the direct bearing on its behavior is known as the surrounding. As shown in the figure, the surrounding is affect the system. So everything that interacts with the system and outside the boundary of the system is known as the surrounding. System may be simple as a melting ice cube or as a complex as a nuclear power plant. So the system can be divided into three types. One is the open loop system, another one is closed loop, and last one is the isolated system. We start with the closed loop system. In closed loop system, the mass is fixed and the no mass boundary. No mass crosses the boundary. Only the energy takes place, but the transfer of mass does not take place. Another example of the closed loop system I show here is the refrigeration system. In the refrigeration system, we see here the compressor compresses the refrigerant and then it sends the refrigerant to the condenser. In condenser, it condenses the refrigerant and sent to the expansion wall. In expansion wall, it expanded and then sent to the evaporator. In evaporator, we get the refrigerant effect and then the refrigerant will again send to the compressor. Means in short, the cycle start at this one point and ended at the same point is known as the closed loop. Now we see the open loop system. In open system, mass and energy both crosses the boundary, it having the consistent fixed volume, but there is no change with respect to time. As shown in the figure, mass is in from the one end and the mass is out from the other end. So there is a start at a one point and closes at another point. So there is no link between the start point and the close point. That's why the system is known as the open system. Another example of the open system is the steam turbine. The steam is come from the one end and goes out from the other end, and in this system mass and the energy are crosses their boundaries. So that's why the steam turbine is also known as the open system in thermodynamics. Now we see about the isolated system. Dear student, in this isolated system cannot exchange both energy and the mass with its surrounding. System and surrounding are togetherly form a universe, and universe is thus considered is an isolated system. So you get the information about the type of systems. As I said, there are three types of system: open system, closed system and isolated system. In the systems, system and surrounding togetherly form a universe. There are one important note is some thermodynamic relations that are applicable to closed and open systems are different. Thus, it is extremely important to recognize the type of system we have before start of analyzing. any system. Isolated system does not communicate with the surrounding by any means of energy or mass. In closed loop system, there is a amount of mass cannot cross the boundary, but energy in the form of heat can cross the boundary. In open loop system, the both mass and the energy can cross the boundary of the system. You can understand about the type of systems. Now we go further for the energy. So what is meant by energy? In thermodynamic, we deal with the change of the total energy only. Thus, the total energy of the system can be assigned a value of 0 at some reference point. Total energy of the system has two groups, macroscopic energy and microscopic energy. So, first we see about the macroscopic energy. Macroscopic is a form of energy that a system possesses as a whole with respect to some outside reference frame, such as kinetic and potential energy. Now we can see how it can be calculated. The microscopic energy of the system is related to the motion and the influence of some external effect such as gravity, magnetism, electricity and surface tensions. So, this energy can be divided into two types of energy, kinetic energy and the potential energy. First, we see about the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy that a system possesses as a result of its relative motion to some reference frame, and it is also shows as a capital Ke. It is derived by use of the equation Ke is equal to mv square divided by 2, and the unit of kinetic energy is a kilojoule. Now we know about the formula, where the v is the velocity of the system, which takes in the unit of meter per second. Moving forward, we see about the potential energy. Is the energy that a system possesses as a result of its elevation in the gravitational fields. It's also denoted as a capital PE, and the formula used to find out the potential energy is m into g into z, where the g is the gravitational acceleration, z is the elevation of the center of gravity of the system relative to the arbitrary reference plane, and m is the mass. The unit of potential energy is kilojoule. Now we see the microscopic form of energy. Microscopic is the form of energy are those related to the molecular structure of the system. They are independent of the outside reference frame. The sum of microscopic energy is called the internal energy, which is denoted by the capital U. The total energy of the system consists of the kinetic, potential and the internal energies. So we can derive the total energy by summation of the kinetic energy, which derived by the formula is mv square divided by 2, plus the potential energy. The formula derives for the potential energy is m into g into z, and the internal energy, which is denoted by the U, and the unit of the total energy is kilojoules, where the contribution of the magnetic, electric, nuclear energies are neglected. Internal energy is related to the molecular structure and the degree of molecular activity, and it may be viewed as the sum of the kinetic and potential energies of the molecule. The sum of the translation, vibrational and rotational energies of molecules is the kinetic energy of the molecules, and it is also called as a sensible energy. At higher temperature, system will have higher sensible energies. Internal energies associated with the phase of the system is called latent heat. The intermolecular forces are strongest in solids and the weakest in the gases. The internal energy associated with the atomic bonds in a molecule is called chemical or bond energy. The tremendous amount of energy associated with the bonds within the nucleus of atom itself is called the atomic energy. Energy interaction with the closed system can occur via heat transfer and work. Now we see the concept of continuum. Matter may be described at a molecular or microscopic level using the technique of statistical mechanics and kinetic theory for engineering purpose. However, we want to average information that is a microscopic, not a microscopic description. There are two reasons for this. First, a microscopic description of an engineering device may produce too much information to manage, and second one, and more importantly, microscopic positions and velocities are generally not useful for determining how macroscopic system will act or react unless, for instance, their total effect is integrated. We therefore neglect the fact that real substances are imposed or composed of discrete molecules and model matters from the start as a smoothed out continuum. The information we have about the continuum represent the microscopic information average over a volume. So, the classical thermodynamics is concerned only with the continua. Now we see the properties of the system. Any characteristic of a system is called a property. Once again, I tell you, students, any characteristic of a system is called a property. In classical thermodynamics, the substance is assumed to be a continuum, homogeneous matter with no microscopic holes. This assumption holds as long as the volumes and length scales are large with respect to the intermolecular spacing. So, the properties are divided into two main types: intensive properties and extensive properties. Intensive properties are those that are independent of the size, for example mass, of the system, such as temperature, pressure and density. They are not additive. In extensive properties, values that are dependent on the size of the system, such as mass, volume and total energy U, they are additive. So, generally, uppercase letters are used to denote extensive properties, except mass M. The lowercase letters are used for the intensive properties, except pressure capital P and temperature capital T. The extensive properties per unit mass are called specific properties. For example, specific volume. Now we see the state and the equilibrium of the system. At a given state, all the properties of the system have fixed values. Thus, if the value of even one property changes, the state will change to the different one. Once again, tell you, student, please concentrate. At a given state, all the properties of a system have a fixed values. Thus, if the value of even one property changes, the state will change to the different one. In an equilibrium state, there are no unbalanced potentials or driving forces within the system. A system in equilibrium experiences no changes when it is isolated from its surrounding. Once again, I tell you, In an equilibrium state, there are no unbalanced potential within the system. A system in equilibrium experiences no changes when it is isolated from its surrounding. There are four types of equilibrium: mechanical equilibrium, thermal equilibrium, phase equilibrium, and chemical equilibrium. Now we see the type of equilibrium one by one. Mechanical equilibrium: when there is no change in a pressure at any point of system. However, the pressure may vary within the system due to the gravitational effects. In mechanical equilibrium, when there is no change in a pressure at any point of the system. However, the pressure may vary within the system due to the gravitational effects is known as the mechanical equilibrium. Now see the thermal equilibrium. When the temperature is the same throughout the entire system, the system is called in as a thermal equilibrium system. The phase equilibrium system: in a two-phase system, when the mass of each phase reaches an equilibrium level, the system is known as phase equilibrium system. Chemical equilibrium: when the chemical composition of the system does not change with respect to the time, that is, no chemical reaction occurs, the system is known as the chemical equilibrium. Now take a overlook of today's lecture. In today's lecture, we are seeing the definition of the thermodynamics. In short, thermodynamics can be defined as the study of energy of transformation and its relation. Importance of thermodynamics. Type of thermodynamic systems. A system is defined as the region in the space chosen for study where some thermodynamic processes are carried out is known as the thermodynamic system. The system classified into three types. Those are closed system, open system, and isolated system. So in the system there are three main parts. Those are boundary, surrounding, and the system, where the boundary is real or imaginary or fixed or deformable, and the surrounding means the everything that interacts with the system, or the region outside the boundary is called as the surrounding. Now the we discuss afterwards that closed system and the open system. In that system we see the two examples: one in which the piston compresses the mass and the generated heat is coming out from the system. Means in closed system, mass cannot be crossed the boundary, only the heat transfers the boundary. It's called as the closed system. And another example we saw in this lecture is the refrigeration system. In that we check that the start point from the compressor system and end to the compressor system, means the system starts at a one point and closes at the same point is also known as the closed system. In open system, mass and the energy both can be transferred from the boundary. That's why the system is known as the open system. Another example we saw in this system is steam turbine. From in that example, we know that the steam is transferred from the one end and goes to the another end, and the energy we get in the form of work. Last system we know about that is the isolated system. In that the both energy and mass cannot exchange with its surrounding. Moving forward, we know what is meant by the universe. The system and the surrounding togetherly form the universe. Then we get the knowledge about the microscopic and the macroscopic energies. These are the types of energy. Afterwards, we get the knowledge about the continuum, what is meant by continuum and how it's affect on the system. Then we know about the properties of the system. In this, we check out for the main two types of properties known as intensive property and the extensive properties and their definition. Moving forward, we check about the state and equilibriums. We get the definition of this state. All the properties of the system have fixed values. Thus, if the value of even one property can change, the state will change to the different one. Then moving forward, we check for the type of equilibrium. In that, we check the 4 type of equilibrium: mechanical equilibrium, thermal equilibrium, phase equilibrium and chemical equilibrium. That's it. In this lecture, we are seeing the all points. If you have any doubts, then comment me in the section and I will resolve your all doubts. Thank you.